So, this is the Phil Kelly Project. My name is Daryl Bean.
Hey, I'm Brian Kelly.
We are the guys that has started this project. We got to tell you a little bit, I guess we got to tell you a little bit about who we are and why we're doing this because you don't know us, but you're going to get to know us. Um, this is this is Phil Kelly's son. So he's the important one. He's the guy that introduced me to his dad and told me all about what his dad was doing. I've known Brian since 1989, and we were buddies back in the day when we really didn't have a whole lot of anything, and we were just trying to figure our way out.
hmm
But at the time we became friends, Phil was already an accomplished commercial music writer and had probably 30 years under his belt at that point in experience. But I really did not know much about Phil until a little bit later when I started paying attention to what Brian was trying to tell me that his dad was, this big cat in the Dallas music scene. And I learned and we, a lot of years passed. We've been friends the whole time, but we kind of lost touch there for a while. And when we got back together some eight something years ago, 9 years ago, Brian was cutting hair in in Fort Worth, and I reconnected with him, and he cut my hair for a while, and that it stayed that way for a little bit. And then, I guess at what point did we get to the where you started talking to your dad about moving moving in with him? I think
Oh, well, yeah, there's several different situations that happen. Some of them are negative, some of them are positive, but this, the end run was really the COVID situation, and I continued to talk to my dad during that whole time, and it didn't seem to affect him very much because he had so many breathing issues anyway, but he knew it was bad stuff, and Gina, my wife, she worked in the industry, and she actually worked in the COVID hall every day, and of course your sister-in-law worked with her in the same place, so they were exposed to it. They were the frontline workers in that. But that did a job on, unfortunately, on the shop. And I started talking to my dad, and he says, "Why don't you just come up here and start over? It's really nice up here." So a couple of years probably transpired, and it was like 2021. He said, "I have a deal for you. Can you come up here for 2 weeks, you and Gina, and my caregiver has to go on this thing. It's a cruise thing. She goes to Hawaii every year. So if you could come up and be here with me during that time." And we said, "Yeah, sure, we'll go do that just to, have a trip." We didn't ever have any money to do a vacation or anything. The shop took everything all the time, took all of us. It took our mind, soul, and money and everything. And so whenever we finally went up there, it was just fantastic, and we had a good time. And he says, "Y'all could just come up here and stay. And I want y'all to really think about it." He really probably needed our help. And now that we've started to put the timeline together, we can kind of see what was going on a little bit better. But at the time, I didn't know. I think he was just trying to save us, and that's how I viewed it. And Gina and I talked about it. We moved up there, and I believe that was in 2023 when we went and drove up there, Daryl.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
2023 was when you made the official move.
Yeah. And
To,
we went up there, and it was like a vacation for you, which
yeah.
while you were there, it was a lot different than after you left. Believe me, it all changed. But once we got up there, and we started talking to my dad about things and music and stuff, I already was very aware of his three CDs, the one that he got the Grammy nomination for, Convergence Zone, and then um, I, and then the other two, My Museum and Ballad of the Bouncing Beagles. But the first one actually, I had a little hand in the design of the actual cover of the CD, and then the other two, during that time I was already in depth and doing the salon and everything. So we just talked from time to time, and but once we got up there and we started talking about his music, he wanted to do something to where he had control over his catalog and figure out how to do that and put it all in one place. And we said, well, it's your recordings. If you're not selling anything, you could probably just put them all on YouTube. And he thought it was a great idea. So at first, at kind of infancy, it was just like, well, let's see what we can find. And we thought there's probably three albums and some commercials. And now how many is there, Daryl, that we have? How many
Well, we're
entries?
just getting started, and there are links to about 100 places online, mostly on YouTube, where it's either him playing or somebody else. And we're doing it in with fair use in mind. We're not trying to make any money off of this. We're just trying to put everything together so that he's we you can go to one place, a one-stop shop, and see everything. A museum, I guess you could call it. And
My
then
Museum,
the
second CD.
we also are uploading dozens of videos that come out of CDs that he had in his car, and also folders that he had in his computer. He, like anybody, he kept copies of all the stuff or a lot of the stuff that he's done, and he liked to listen to them, once in a while. I know how that feels because I've written some music, and I like to go back and listen to some of that stuff too. It's anyway. So yeah, September 23 was when I got to meet Phil Kelly for the first time. When we finally arrived after our 3-day journey up there, you and me and Gina and Brick the cat, and I got to meet Phil a few times over a short period of time, and just to feel him out, get him a sense of who I was too. And you know, he was looking for somebody. He had eye problems. He had macular degeneration,
Yeah,
and so he was having a very hard time looking at his computer, and that's where he was doing a lot of his musical work, like the last 10, 15, 20 years. The
yeah,
bulk of it you could see
yeah,
that he was very good at it, but his
yeah,
eyesight was getting so bad. He was zooming into the music and saving it in this zoomed in state because that was the only way that he could work with it. Well,
yeah,
then he got to the point where he couldn't, he was trying to, I guess, talk to the computer to make it do the commands for him.
yeah.
He
He
asked
and
me.
Gerald Stockton were trying to get that hooked up to where they could do that. And
Gerald Stockton was his roommate.
yeah, he was the last engineer.
Well, he asked me if I could possibly help. I worked with Finale. I said, "Gee, I don't know. I mean, I looked at the scores, and that's totally out of my league. I could never write anything like that." But I said, "Yeah. I mean, how can I say no? What an opportunity!" And by the time I had met Phil, I had already been listening to his CDs, so I had a really good idea of what I was getting into. However, in the last couple of years, it's turned out to be a little bit more, but we got a handle on it. Um, as time goes on, we're gonna discover some new things, and part of this plan is, not just to bring all the music together, but also go out and find the people that knew him
Yeah,
and talk talk to them, and before they die, and see if we can find out more about them and find
yeah.
out, morally, just to reaffirm what kind of a person he was. But there's
I have many people on my Facebook list that are friends of his who are musicians, and we'll be sending this out to all y'all to contact us or give us a yay sign or don't want to be involved or whatever. It's fine. but I know all of y'all have stories, so we'd at least like you to dial in on our on this will become a podcast and tell a story or your remembrance of working with him because that's with my father, that's all it was business. He loved music and it was a business and the business was the hard part and the friendships were the good part and you know they just made really good music with a bunch of different friends and I know everybody I've talked to so far is just this is they're real positive about what we're doing here and I think it's going to be a real good project.
Well, I'm excited to meet these people. I mean,
Yeah,
in my dreams, I didn't
yeah,
think that I would meet professional musicians. I mean, I've got stories of my own, and we all do, but um, to meet the caliber of musician that he worked with on a regular basis, he knew the best. He
yeah.
worked with the best. He worked with what he would call the first call musicians from Los Angeles, Seattle, Dallas. I mean, he had
Mhm.
access to the very best.
Yeah,
And, for the kind of musicality Phil had, the imagination and the creativity that he had, knowing these people just made the experience even better. I'm sure he loved it. But
yeah,
when you start to listen to this music, you're going to wonder, my gosh, is there no end to to all the variety that I'm hearing? Because you're going to hear such a variety of styles and colors. It's not just jazz. It's
yeah.
uh, it's
The
classical. It's
stories.
country. It's
Yeah.
calypso. What have you? But yeah, meeting those people and hearing what they've got to say, that's going to be, I think, part of the fun. And it's already been a blast. I got to tell you how lucky I feel, to be your friend, but also
Yeah,
to
thanks.
to have this opportunity to
Yeah,
to do something constructive. Take
yeah,
somebody who was a successful person,
yeah,
who,
exactly.
who has a body of work, an admirable body of work,
Mhm.
and bring it together and make it public and try to make the world a better place because I think it will.
And some of the stuff that we've discovered is amazing. You know, when you go to the YouTube page and look at it, there'll be once we get everything on there, we found music that I've never even heard about. I've heard of maybe 1% of his stuff, and it's like the early stuff that we're digging up now, old commercials and just sound bites and different slates for different jobs that he did. It's amazing because you literally have to paint with a palette to make the customer or the client get what they want whenever they were doing this stuff. And that's how he kind of, began and learned how to do it. And at the places he worked, they were putting this stuff out quick. I mean, he could orchestrate so quick, it was unbelievable. So when it got time when he wanted to do his own stuff, it was a joy to work at a regular pace. But he was very quick for the musicians. They said he was still very quick.
Yeah. Well, I, as the more I learn, the better it gets for me.
Yeah,
So I've been a musician. You've been a musician our whole lives. Not at the level, that his workmates were, but still
yeah.
we've been musicians long enough to appreciate what goes
Walk in his
into
shadow a little bit. That's all I care to do,
what goes into making really good music.
and get to listen, you know.
And when you crank it out in the jingle factory, like to call it, and that's a 9 to 5 job, and you're putting out packages on a constant basis. You've got to develop a certain set of skills where you can, thrive in that atmosphere. I mean, and he did it all in pencil and paper. There was no computers back when he was making all of this stuff. He was writing notes down
Handwritten.
on paper, and live
Yeah.
musicians were reading what he wrote down.
Mm,
A blast from the past. Well,
yeah.
we can go on, but if we do, we will waste all of our content now. So check out the YouTube channel and check out the website. And thank you very much. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for future notifications of new music coming your way and interviews with people that you may or may not know. But
Yeah.
I promise you, they're going to be interesting, and this will be fun.
And we'll reach out to all of y'all. And if there's anybody that wants to reach out to me just on my list, because I'm going to post this on a list, you reach out to Brian at philkelly.net. And it's basically what is the YouTube address, dude? It's just
That
connected at
is
the bottom. And
philkelly.net or
yeah,
philkelly.org.
yeah.
And yeah,
Okay.
I'm
And
going to
it's
go
like
back
the
later.
button's at the bottom, a blue button that says YouTube.
That's right. At the end of this video, well, actually, I might put the subscribe button, keep it
Okay,
on the
cool.
side for the whole way.
Does it float around or anything?
So this is what you get, folks. We're a bunch of unprofessional videographers. We're probably not the prettiest faces to look at, but we'll definitely keep you informed and keep you interested in what's going on, and we're going to have
It'll
fun.
only get better. Wait till we talk to people.
Wait till we actually talk to people that are really good
Okay.
at this. Yeah,
Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
there you go.